This is OwlUp, where learning happens in minutes, not hours. For a deeper journey, explore all our courses at owlup.co. Now, let's dive in. Welcome to Chapter 1 of Public Speaking for Your Career, Present Like a Leader, where we're diving into the foundation of great presentations, knowing exactly who you're talking to. Today we'll explore how to read the room before you even step into it, from decoding age groups and job titles to understanding what makes different audiences tick. Let's get into it. About half your audience decides whether to tune out before you even finish your first sentence. Now you're mid-pitch to a room of engineers, but you've prepared for executives. Same slides, same voice, totally different results. Why does the same talk work brilliantly in one room and bomb in another? Listeners decide in under 30 seconds whether you're worth their brainpower. But here's the twist. Most speakers prepare as if every audience thinks the same way. They don't. A room of security architects, a sales leadership offsite, and a mixed crowd at a tech conference can all hear the same words and walk away with totally different takeaways, or none at all. The real leverage isn't in polishing your slides one more time. It's in decoding who's in front of you before you speak. That means digging into how they think, what they already know, what they're under pressure to deliver, and how they judge whether you're credible. Once you see that clearly, you can make surgical adjustments. Which stories will stick? Which jargon builds trust instead of confusion? Where to slow down, and where to skip ahead so they feel, this was built for me, not this again. Most tech presenters stop at role and seniority and call that knowing their audience. That's like a data scientist building a model with only 2 columns. Something important will be wildly off. To really tune your talk, you need to see layers that aren't printed on the attendee badge. How risk-averse they are, whether they value speed or stability, if they're rewarded for innovation or punished for failure, whether they're overwhelmed or bored. These hidden drivers don't show up in the agenda, yet they quietly determine which parts of your message feel obvious, threatening, or genuinely exciting. Think of audience insight as 4 overlapping lenses you can deliberately switch between, instead of one fuzzy target persona in your head. 1. The knowledge lens. What's safe to assume? Before you build slides, list 3 things you think they definitely know, probably know, and definitely don't know. Then pressure test that list. Skim recent talks at their conferences, read their team's job postings, check internal docs or public tech blogs. This keeps you from spending 10 minutes defining terms they use daily, or, on the flip side, dropping acronyms they'd only see in a research lab. A simple rule: if misunderstanding a concept would make the rest of your talk crumble, verify their familiarity with it in advance or plan a fast, visual primer. 2. The motivation lens. What outcome do they secretly want? In most technical rooms, there's a quiet trade happening. They give you attention, you give them something that makes their work easier, safer, faster, or more impressive. Clarify this by completing 1 sentence for each stakeholder group. If this talk is a win for them, they walk out able to concrete outcomes, ship a feature with less risk, justify a budget, pass an audit, help you select examples, not just content. 2 slides tailored to their success metric can matter more than 20 slides of perfectly accurate detail. 3. The constraint lens. What boxes are they stuck inside? People rarely reject ideas on pure logic. They reject based on constraints, regulations, architecture choices, vendor lock-in, political landmines, burnout. Map the top constraints they live with, then explicitly show how your proposal fits, bends, or sidesteps them. Here's the part that works even if you can't touch your core database, is far more compelling than another generic benefit slide. 4. The situational lens. What's going on today? The same team hearing you after a production outage, after layoffs, or after a big funding round will not process your message the same way. Check the emotional weather report, recent incidents, org changes, deadlines. Then decide, do you open with a quick acknowledgement? Do you trim anything that sounds like extra work? Do you highlight risk reduction more than innovation? When you consciously rotate through these lenses while preparing, you're no longer guessing who they are. You're reverse engineering what their brains are ready to hear right now. A quick way to test these lenses is to run through a few contrasting scenarios. Say you're speaking to 3 groups about the same internal developer platform. With an SRE team, your story centers on the night a deployment rollback took minutes instead of hours. Every detail zooms in on incident flow, not long-term roadmap. With a finance leadership team, that same story becomes a single slide, and the spotlight shifts to how fewer incidents changed headcount planning and vendor spend. With a group of new hires, you might instead tell a day in the life of an engineer before and after the platform, tracing small frictions they'll recognize by week 2 on the job. It's like adjusting stage lighting in a theater. The set doesn't move, but a different character becomes the lead when you swing the spotlight. You're not rewriting reality, you're choosing the angle that lets this crowd see themselves in it fastest. Soon you may test ideas on a shadow audience before real people ever join the call. Think of a dashboard that blends live sentiment, gaze patterns, and click behavior into a sort of weather map for attention, showing where curiosity heats up or cools. You'd iteratively tune stories, evidence, even pacing between slides. But as these tools guess more about mood and intent, you'll need new habits, disclosing what's tracked, inviting opt-outs, and prioritizing consent over raw optimization. When you treat every talk as a live prototype, each group becomes a different wind tunnel for your ideas, revealing where they drag or glide. Notice which details light up questions, which stories travel, which terms land flat. Over time, those patterns form a quiet map, not of who people are, but of how your message can meet them mid-stride. Before next week, ask yourself, 1. If I had to describe my ideal listener's day in vivid detail, from when they wake up to when they go to bed, where exactly do they feel the frustration or desire that my content could ease or amplify? 2. Thinking about the last 3 messages, comments, or DMs I received, what specific words, stories, or emotions keep repeating? And what does that reveal about what my audience is truly craving from me? 3. If I invited one listener to a 15-minute Zoom chat today, what 3 questions would I ask to uncover their real motivations, fears, and hopes related to my topic? And how would those answers change the next episode I plan to create? This was OwlUp, your daily step forward. To keep learning with structured courses and more insights, go to owlup.co. Until tomorrow!